Hi everybody, this is Executive National Vice President Lynn Puana, and we're just getting started with our Discover Arbonne Opportunity Live. So if you are watching live, and you can drop a little number 1 in the comments and maybe where you're watching from, we're going to let everybody start to get on and then we'll get started. So, okay, I think we've got people jumping on now. I know I have my helpers on here, but so I'm just going to mention to Lindsay and Megan, for some reason on my screen, I'm not able to see the comments, so not quite sure what to do about that, but if you all can answer any questions that we have. So I just want to just cover a couple quick things before we get started. And I'll remind everybody in a bit as well, but if you are watching live, put a 1 in the comments, and if you're watching later from the recording, you can put a 2, and I love to see the city and state where you're watching from, and it really just be interactive. I know we're not sitting at a coffee shop. Hopefully that didn't end it. Okay, sorry. My kids call me as soon as I start a Facebook Live. That's like the way it always works. So I may have to pause here for just a second, but I'd love for you to be interactive, pretend like we're sitting at a coffee shop. If you have questions or things, hold on, I'm going to pause 1 second. This always happens. Shelly, can you call Gigi? She keeps calling me. Thank you. Gosh. Okay. Sorry. So if you're wondering, I'm in Hawaii and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so my kids are just getting out of school. So that's why this is always happening. So this is not the ideal hour for me, but I'm gonna make this work and hopefully we'll have minimal interruptions. Okay, if you have comments and questions, please put them in there. I'm gonna try to add them in. If you have objections or hurdles, please let us know during this talk, and be giving thumbs up and hearts or whatever you feel like doing. So I'm just going to jump right in. We appreciate you all getting on live and taking a little bit of time out of your evening to take a look at what Arbonne is. And so we're going to get a lot of information covered in a short period of time, but I am sure that there will be a lot of questions that you may still have after you listen. So take notes and jot down your thoughts as we go through this. But again, I introduced myself in the beginning. My name is Lynn Puana, and I'm an Executive National Vice President in Arbonne. And I have been a part of Arbonne in January, it was 13 years. So a little over 13 years. And I'm just going to start by telling you a little bit about how I started doing this. And then we're going to get into some logistics about network marketing and Arbonne and our products. So I was originally introduced to Arbonne through the products, actually in 2004, by my dear friend, and she's on right now. I was a physician. I am a physician. I still am. It's not that I was, but I was working as a resident full-time in Texas, and it was my 3rd year of residency. And I had a dear friend of mine who I worked with, which most of them were men. And his wife was this stunningly beautiful woman who I always would pay attention to what skincare she was doing. And I did not have great skin. I was not very girly. I didn't really wear makeup. So all of that's changed. But back then, when Cheryl offered me some skincare to try, I of course said, of course, if this is what you're using, I will use this. And I jokingly said that if she would have told me I had to stand on my head and use it and eat 3 carrots at the same time, I would have done it because I wanted my skin to look like hers. So I tried the products, loved the products, but at the time she did not offer me the ability to make an income doing this. And I was at a point in my career where as a resident, we were working 120-hour weeks and we were making $35,000 a year. So we always had more month than we had money. And I just could not think that I was worth spending that money on myself. And I was probably like many of you and many of your friends, where I had drawers full of different skincare lines and different cosmetics. But I did suffer from adult acne. And so I was still at that point in time, I think I was maybe 28. So I wasn't really thinking about aging skin, but I wanted my skin to look better and have less breakouts. So I remember I used 2 full sample packs, fell in love with it, heard nothing about the income opportunity, and I basically forgot all about Arbonne. So if you've been asked to take a look at this business, I always feel like that is the best place to start. You do not need to start by using the products. You do not need to use the products for months or years to begin this business. I did my research and did my due diligence on Arbonne, on network marketing, and on the products before I really spent my time and invested my time into starting an Arbonne business. But I did not sit back and read every manual and look at every product we had and every ingredient, because you're not going to earn any income doing this if you sit and do that. So I started that way. Eventually, her husband introduced me to the income opportunity. And at the time, he knew that we were always in the negative and every month. And it was exhausting. And I'm sure almost everyone out there has felt this way. And the biggest stressor I think you can have besides your health is finances. And so when he said, Lynn, if you took a look at doing what Cheryl does, you could quit working all those ER shifts. So I'm asking you all, you don't need to type it in the box here, but you can if you want. What's that one thing that you wish you didn't have to do, or what would look different for you if you had an Arbonne business that was bringing you in, let's just start with, let's say $2,500 a month. If you had $2,500 extra coming in a month from a part-time job that you get to work around life with, what would you do different? And I can tell you my first figure was $3,000, because if I had $3,000 extra a month, I knew I could quit working in the ER. So there's going to need to be something inside of you that's going to give you a burn in your belly and is going to give you a why to start this business. And I don't know what that is, but if we were sitting together having coffee or a glass of wine, I would ask you, what is that thing? What is it? Do you want your kids to go to private school? Do you want to travel more? Do you possibly want to move? Pay off debt, save for retirement? What are those things? But the reason why I ultimately started Arbonne is not why I'm in this business today. I started, though, for a choice. And what I'm asking each of you right now is, if you had the choice, what would look different? So you're going to have to start to think bigger and dream. Maybe you want somebody who would come clean your house once a week. I don't know what those things are, but that is where it started for me. And it's the choice and choices that this business has given me, which is why I've continued to build it and grow it for the past over 13 years. And that's why I still love it as much as I do. So think about that. Think about what your why would be. And just to kind of, I'm actually completely, this is the first day I can completely announce this out there, because there have been many reasons why I couldn't say this, but I actually am able to make the choice to move from Hawaii. So many of you who know me do not even know this information yet. So I am able to, because I do not have a normal job where it's 8 to 5, that I'm somebody's employee. I run an Arbonne business, and I run a urine toxicology lab in Hawaii, and I run a medical practice. And because of Arbonne, I've learned how to be able to do anything I want to do from any place. And so I'm moving at the end of May from Hawaii to Denver. And I didn't have to pick Denver because of a job. So it's very eye-opening, and I have so much gratitude for that and humility that this has happened. But truly, everybody I run into, they say, well, why are you going to Denver? What are you going to do there? And I say, well, you know what? I'm going to do the same things I do now, and I picked Denver because that's where I want to live, not because somebody's making me live there. So I'm just trying to give you big vision picture about what's possible, but it starts with you. So let's transition a little bit now, and just so you know, so I don't get off track, I am following through with some slides that you all can't see. Some of this I'm going to move through pretty quickly. But Arbonne as a company has been around for 37 years. I have had many people approach me about other network marketing companies, and being a physician, I've been approached very aggressively by many of the CBD oil companies. And I can tell you that I've looked at a lot of companies and I give them advice because there's no reason I'm switching, but they ask for my advice. And you would never want to start in a network marketing company that's brand new. So the fact that we've been around for 37 years, the fact that we are not a one-hit wonder, we aren't just one product line. We have something from babies to caskets, baskets to caskets, and you want that. But you want the stability that comes with a company that's been around a while. We have a global opportunity, so you can, not only am I moving where I want to go, but I can build a business in any of the countries that we're currently in. So it's not just where you live. This is so much bigger than that. Just some other quick things. You are able to will your business at the level of an area manager. And that's really a big thing for many, many, many people, myself included. Our compensation plan, we're going to go over here in a little bit. Our product advantage, my guess is most of you on this have already used our products. Possibly you did our 30-day clean eating challenge, or maybe you're doing it, about to start it. But our product advantage is huge. At the end of the day, if you don't have great products that work and people reorder them, you can't sustain this business. You can't sustain any business if you don't have that. So our products are the base of Arbonne, and we are a plant formulated company. What that means is that we use botanicals, we are vegan, we are gluten-free, we are, I'm going to go through the list here in a minute, but we do meet all of those criteria that from a health and wellness standpoint right now, people are looking for. People want the kinds of products that we offer, and we've been doing it for way longer than anyone else out in the marketplace has been. Okay, so again, we're formulated without gluten, petroleum, no animal byproducts. We are a completely vegan-based company. We have no dyes and fragrances. So you may know people who always say, oh, they're self-disclosed sensitive skin, or they can't wear mascara, or they can't wear makeup. I couldn't wear mascara before Arbonne's mascara, because most of the time it's from the dyes and fragrances that are put in products that people are so irritated by. We have no artificial sweeteners, colors, or flavors. We have no parabens or phthalates in our products, and we are in the process of removing even more ingredients. Okay, I've gone through a little bit of the consumable products, everything from hair care, makeup, cosmetics, skincare, nutrition. So just kind of the day in the life of my house. I have a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old. And, you know, my kids, just to kind of give you a glimpse of how this business gets built. And this is just my house. But these are the kinds of products that people are using all over. And I want you to see the scale at which this can happen. So both of my kids' bathrooms have shampoo and conditioner and body wash in them. Both of my kids brush their teeth. All of those products are Arbonne. My daughter has started to use skincare at the age of 10 because I'm teaching her early. So her skincare is Arbonne, not the anti-aging line, but then there's what we eat. So my kids have really gotten into smoothies. I have to kind of doctor them up a bit, but I'm able to put in our greens powder, and I'm able to get our immunity booster in it. So when the kids start to get sick at school and I start to hear them talk about somebody being out, I start putting in the immunity support. It's a liquid booster that we have. I put it in their smoothie. So I put all these things in their smoothie. I get the Digestion Plus in their smoothie. I add fiber into their smoothie. So that's just the morning. This morning for breakfast, that is what they had for breakfast. I had a smoothie. I washed my face. I took a shower. Everything that you can think of that I'm using of Arbonne's, because I wouldn't want to use anybody else's. It has things in it I wouldn't want on my body or in my kids or on their skin. And it's part of my business. So why would I not buy from my own company? So then, of course, I put on a little bit of makeup, which was Arbonne. I put on my lip gloss, which is Arbonne. So you can kind of see at the scale, now from this point, you're finding other consumers who are using great products and appreciate great products. They implement it into their life, because why would they use anything else once they fall in love with them? And then they continue to find other people. And that is how this business can scale. And that is how it scales up. So I'm not going to go into the details on our anti-aging line. If you have only used our nutrition and you've never tried our skincare, you need to get a sample. It really, truly is still our flagship product. It is our top seller in the company. The healthy living is a close second, but the skincare is amazing. And likewise, if you've done skincare and never used our 30 Days to Healthy Living program, we can tell you more about that. I have a YouTube video I've recorded that we can send you the link and you can watch. But what a great way to be healthy, potentially if you need to lose weight, feel better. And it's so great to watch the transformation that happens with people on that program. So why network marketing? You know, if those of you have never looked outside the box of earning income, this can seem really scary, for lack of a better word. It can seem like there's a lot of risk, but from people who have a conventional business, and if you have anybody you know who does, the risk involved in building an Arbonne business, to me, I look at it as a zero risk. There's no loans, you're not buying equipment, you don't take out rent or lease someplace, you have no employees, you have no overhead. So this is about you and your time. So if you know inside of you that you have the ability to work hard and you are a hard worker, this is the kind of business for you. So we are skipping the middlemen in network marketing. We produce the product and it goes directly to the consumer. So we are paid based on commission of sales, which that's a big myth. We're not based on people signing up. This is truly just like any other sales position or sales job or the broker of a real estate company. So as you grow a team, your sales volume goes up and your commission can go up and your pay will go up. So that's a very simplified way in which we earn an income. But I can tell you, because I have two businesses that have a traditional business model, and it is so scary at times when you're starting those businesses. Building an Arbonne business and having to ask people if they'd like to try some skincare or take a look at a nutrition program is nothing. You don't have to go take out $1 million loan and have overhead, which to me is exhausting. If you want to leave town, you still have that overhead. You can build your business anywhere with Arbonne. As we talked about the reordering of products. So one of the biggest eye-opening things for most professionals is they've never looked at a type of business where you can earn income when you're not working, or you can earn income off of someone else's efforts. So in Arbonne, we do that a couple ways. One way is we find consumers, find people who want to use the products, they purchase product, and then they can reorder. So when they reorder that product, you're being paid on it again. You potentially did nothing. They may have ordered at midnight online and you got paid for it. So that's one way you're leveraging your time. The second way is you can build a team. And so what that means is that if you tell me, Lynn, I think I have about 10 hours a week I could invest in Arbonne. And by 10 hours a week, I mean that is in front of somebody, on the phone with somebody, somehow sharing Arbonne products and opportunity with people. Okay, that's what that means. So if you did that 10 hours a week and you had 4 people who did that 10 hours a week, you're still working 10, but being paid off of 50. So that's leveraging your time. And it's very hard in traditional jobs to find a way to do that. It really is. And honestly, most professionals, most people who spend years and hundreds of thousands of dollars in education. I mean, I think I don't even know, I think I had $250,000 or $300,000 in school loans by the time I was done with medical school. And most all of them do. And if I didn't go into the hospital or I didn't go to work, I wasn't paid other than the 2 weeks vacation I got. So the businesses I own now, I've leveraged my time and I make money off of them, including Arbonne when I'm not working. Because that's the key to building up wealth and to being able to have time and choices. Because I think probably for most of us, the number one thing we would pick is time as a part of our choices. Okay, the other thing about Arbonne is it is an internet-based business. We do use social media quite a bit to build this business, but we do not inundate our friends. We do not make it so people don't want to see you and don't want to be around you. You know, I always tell people when they're starting this, if you're normal now, stay normal once you start Arbonne. And, you know, I have tons of family members that don't use Arbonne products. And every time they see me, it doesn't get brought up. But that doesn't mean that you can't still build this business. So I spoke briefly about how this is a global opportunity. And you may think, I don't know anybody in Australia, or I don't know anybody in Taiwan, or that you don't know anybody in Poland. But this business is about who you know, who knows, who knows, who knows. And that is the real beauty about a business like this. Because if you find a great restaurant or a great movie, most women go talk. So they go tell somebody else, and from that, that person tells the next person, who tells the next person, who tells the next person. And pretty soon, you have people who've showed up in your downline and in your team, and they live in another country. And you did not know who they were before. So that is how this business is built and how it can become a global opportunity. Now, you may have contacts in those places, but if you don't, I promise with time, it grows. I'm just going to briefly cover, and actually Megan or Lindsay, if you could post maybe a link to the compensation plan, that would be really great. But I do want you to know that the white Mercedes is a benefit that comes at the level of a regional vice president in Arbonne. And we do get a car allowance for that. And I'm just going to pick this one. The average time to this position with people who are working consistently about 20 hours a week is 28 months. And the average monthly income is over $5,000 a month. So that's just regional vice president. And the sky is really the limit. This is not about who got in first. This is about who works and who works hardest and how you build that team. But we'll post a link with the compensation plan so you can see that. But really now, you know, the question as we finish up and you're finishing up watching this is you can ask yourself, you know, where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as somebody who wants to just continue to use the product and get a discount? Do you potentially want to earn some income? Do you want to jump all in? Are you ready to go? Or do you possibly want to host an event? We can do virtual events like this. We can do events in homes. We make them really fun, and you can earn a lot of products at a big discount. So where do you see yourself? And I know that for many of you, this can change. For most of us, it changes with time. But I'm going to kind of wrap up by just covering the most common fears and hesitations. You don't need to post this in there because I know they're very personal. But we all have these in all areas of our life. Relationships, work, family. You know, we wake up one morning and decide that we're a really bad mom today or whatever happens, but this is common. And so the common things that happen for people who are taking a look at starting a business like this is that they feel like they don't have enough time. And really, truly, nobody in this business who's successful sits back and says, I have all this time, I think I'm going to start another business. We all mesh this into our day and into our life. And so as I'm on the road, I may take a phone call or make a phone call that has to do with Arbonne. And I'm just fitting that into my day. I may do a follow-up when I wake up in the morning. You know, I fit this into my day versus going into a job that's 8 to 4. And we can help you if you look at what you have to fit on in your life, we can help you figure out where do you have some nooks and crannies you can add this in. But it does take some time, and it takes consistency and consistent effort. I've already kind of discussed the money involved is very, very, very minimal for the reward that can be gained. Not knowing enough people, again, I mean, I was so there. I really did not have enough people. I was working all the time, and all I knew were acquaintances and nurses. And slowly through their networks of people, I got in front of more and more and more faces. I think so many people, though, the biggest thing is, what will people think? And what is this I'm getting into? You know, is this some crazy cult? And what is this? And so I want you to know that we're normal people. We all are. And somebody invited you to take a look at this business, and they think that you would do well at it. We really do not offer anybody to want to be on our team. We are picky and choosy, and you do get to pick who you work with. So we want to work with the best. And I think ultimately there's always going to be a little fear for all of you when you first start, is what will people think? And I had that. And here I was, a physician, and now I'm selling lipstick. What's up with that? So I, at some point, just had to say, you know, they're not paying my bills. And at the end, they don't care. They're going to go do their life. And we spend more time worrying about what we think other people are thinking than anybody ever spends thinking that about us. And if you just stay normal and you don't get weird, they're not going to think anything of it. Some of them will, some of them won't. And I will tell you that this will show you truly who some of your closest friends are to you. And some of us have to change those around, because maybe the people we thought were good friends all of a sudden now can't support our decision because we're thinking outside the box. And thinking outside the box scares other people. So I would just encourage you to go back to whoever it was who invited you to get on this call, and, you know, find out what more information do you need from us. We are here by your side, and whoever that person is going to help coach you and guide you, teach you, mentor you through this whole journey. And it's a never-ending journey of personal growth and development, and we're always here for each other, which I think is one of the most amazing things about this business. So tons more I could tell you all, but we're really kind of already past the time I was trying to keep us at. So I appreciate you all for listening, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send me a message. I'm happy to help. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.